Coming up on Double Tap TV.
It's our CES 1 hour special. Steven's on the road to Sin City with all the cool tech from the show floor.
The latest tech.
I'm Alexa. I can answer your questions.
Interviews.
There will be several dozen shows trickling in over the months.
Accessibility.
We're actually running a pilot scheme with the CNIB at the moment.
This is Double Tap TV.
Welcome to a very special edition of Double Tap TV. I am Mark Aflalo in studio, and Steven Scott is on the ground in Las Vegas, Nevada for the 2020 edition of CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, which happens every single year. Over 2.9 million square foot of consumer electronic innovations, concepts, and the latest in tech. We are going to visit Steven in a moment at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Before I do that, I want to remind you that this is a very special 1 hour edition of Double Tap, so thank you for tuning in. If you want to get involved, our email address is always feedback@AMI.CA. If you want to find us on Twitter, no problem, that's @DoubleTapCanada. And if you use the hashtag AskDoubleTap, we will get to your questions on most of our shows. So let's head on down to the Las Vegas Convention Center. Steven, you're on the ground at the Convention Center. You're having a heck of a week. I'm sure it's no fun without me, right?
Yeah, it's been quite an event, and I mean, it is an incredible place to come to. This is my first time at CES, and what a year to come, because there are so many wonderful products here. And actually, I think a really poignant year for someone who's blind to come to an event like this, because there's so much technology out there that really works and can work in favor of a blind or partially sighted person. And over the course of our show here, we're going to be showing you all of this technology and how it can make a difference to a blind person's life. And even from the humble cooker all the way up to a car. Imagine, Mark, being able to get into my driverless car and come and meet you and go for a nice lunch somewhere. That'd be amazing, and that's going to happen. We're seeing the concepts and the cars and the technology exist right here at CES 2020. It's quite incredible.
Steven, I'd welcome you for lunch absolutely any day. If only they built a teleporter that could get me over the ocean to Scotland on a weekly basis. Now that would be cool. You're standing by in Las Vegas. You're at the Las Vegas Convention Center. That's one of many convention centers that are set up for CES in Las Vegas. You're standing by with our first guest of the day, and you're going to set the scene for what's to come on this hour-long edition of Double Tap TV. Who you got with you, Steven?
Absolutely. I am so pleased to be joined here with Andy Barrar, who's a tech expert and a regular voice and face to AMI viewers and listeners. Andy, it is so good to have you here.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Finally meet you.
And at CES out of all places.
Where else would you want to meet, honestly?
Yeah, two geeks. Where else would you possibly want to meet?
Absolutely.
The biggest tech trade show in the world.
So look, I've got to ask you, and I bet this is the question you've been asked most often on all the interviews that you've done here.
Yes.
What is the one thing for you? And that's a difficult question, but the one thing that perhaps is standing out for you as the big tech trend of 2020 going forward that we're going to be seeing everyone talk about?
You know, Steve, I've come to CES a lot, right? So I'm a hard guy to impress. And the one thing that I saw where I was just like, oh my God. And it was basically air taxis. This is the future of transportation. You know, we talk a lot about autonomous vehicles, but what we saw, basically, it's like a drone, a large-sized drone that would basically land to wherever you are. You could order it. Uber's working on this right now. They partnered with Hyundai. So you could order your Uber, this like large drone would drop down, you get into it, and then it would take you to your destination. But you could have multiple people in it, so you could sit there and chat and then get dropped off to your thing. So Uber said in 2016 that they were gonna try to start testing this in 2020, and guess what? It's 2020.
It's 2020.
So they're hoping to have it ready and in the air by 2030. So they got about 10 years to master this. But we might be flying in the sky when we call our Ubers.
How many times have you sat in a cab and you've thought to yourself, you know, you're sitting there stuck in traffic and you think, if only this thing could just take wings and fly.
Yeah, well,
and now it can.
It's kind of like the Jetsons, you know.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
That's right.
And it took a little bit of time, but it's a great time to be alive, I'll tell you that.
It certainly is. Now, I mean, obviously back down on Earth, firmly feet on the ground. What about computers? Because we're seeing lots of new developments in computers. Lenovo showing off
Did you see
a
that?
foldable computer. Amazing.
Yeah,
and 5G built in as well.
Well, we saw earlier in the year, Steve, that they were making foldable smartphones. You know, the Galaxy Fold
That's right.
was a big one. But now we have that same technology is being used in laptops. So now you're going to be able to fold your laptop. And just the screen display technology has really improved. It's paper thin. I saw a high-tech purse that had a screen on it with all these different images going on it. So for all the ladies out there who like tech and like, you know, a nice handbag.
Want it to look good.
Yeah, now you got it.
And it's a 13-inch screen,
Yes.
beautiful color.
Yes.
And it's a powerful machine, Intel Core built in.
Yes.
So it's not running Celeron processors. It's going to work well. And again, for people like us who are blind, having a really powerful computer is key, especially good graphics. And that might seem a bit odd for people who are blind, but actually if you use a screen reader like JAWS, you really need to have a powerful graphics and powerful processor built in there. And you have that with this, and it's a foldable device with a keyboard as well.
I saw Acer this morning, and they're making, and what they realized, and I actually knew this for a long time, that people, content creators, guys who use like Adobe Creative Cloud to edit or After Effects, they would typically buy gaming machines because of the graphic processors and the high-end specs. So then they started realizing, why don't we make a computer for content creators? So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles like the lights that gaming laptops do, but it has all that power. And you know, we've seen touch screens where you could actually touch the screen, but now they have built-in stylus, which is very intuitive because we start off by writing, and now it makes sense that you could write on the screen, or you can edit, or you can draw. So, you know, laptops have come a long way from being foldable to also having styluses built right into it.
What about robots, Andy? I mean, there are a lot of robots here that can do everything from, I believe, get toilet paper for you.
Yes.
If you desired, you know, some toilet paper, and you couldn't quite get to where the toilet paper is.
Do you know what it's called? The Rollbot.
The robot, of course.
Yes, this was from Charmin. It kind of stole the show here at CES. There's always something really like quirky that everybody talks about. And so this is a small little robot that has toilet paper on top of it. And then in the event that you run out of toilet paper, you can summon it to you.
That's amazing.
I have a lot of questions, Steve, because you know most people have the bathroom doors shut, as they should.
Yes.
So how is the robot going to get through that? Yeah, so.
It's got to be able to open the door as
Yeah,
well.
I don't think the Charmin people liked the fact that I was asking all these really technical questions of how
They're
could
just like,
this.
look, just buy the robot.
It was really an innovation. They're just trying to show it, and they got a lot of press. So,
Yeah, I can
so
imagine.
I'm sure all the R&D that went into that paid off.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because the amount of technology that exists now, smart robot technology, that is going to make such a difference to people's lives. I mean, yes, okay, we can have a laugh about the toilet roll robot, but there are lots out there that can make a real difference to people.
Yeah, everything is getting smart. I don't know if you saw this out there. They have a smart, like, shaver. So when you're shaving, it works with an app, and it tells you what strokes, and it like measures your shave. So for all the men, it's from Bic.
I could do with that.
Yeah,
I could do with that right now.
I was very impressed. Oh, you know what? They do have a barber here, so if you need
Oh, well, there we go.
Hey, I'll take you over there. We'll get
Fantastic.
you a nice clean
Sorted.
shave.
Oh, that sounds good. Or if you're trying to lose weight,
Yes.
the smart belt.
Oh, yes, you saw
see
that, the smart belt.
So this tells you if you're getting fat. Like I need anyone to tell me I'm getting fat. I've got a wife for that. It's just, it's unbelievable. So much smart tech. Look,
Now-
Andy, you're going to stay with us. We're going to talk to you more because we've got so much more to talk about. So we're going to come back with Andy a bit later, Mark, and hear a lot more about what is going on here at CES and what Andy's been picking out as his favourite tech so far.
Well, I look forward to Andy's picks. I look forward to your picks as well, Stephen. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back and can dive right into various companies over at CES. This is Double Tap TV, hour-long special from CES 2020. I am Mark Aflalo. He is Stephen Scott in Las Vegas. Again, if you want to get in touch, it's feedback at AMI.CA. On Twitter, it is at DoubleTap Canada, and use the hashtag AskDoubleTap. We will take a quick break and be right back here on Double Tap TV.
Love Double Tap TV? Listen to AMI Audio for Double Tap Canada every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for news and reviews on everything tech. This is Double Tap TV.
We are back on Double Tap TV. Mark Aflalo and Stephen Scott with you. If you want to get involved, it's feedback at AMI.CA. We welcome your emails all the time. And on Twitter, if you want to get in touch, no problem. It's at Double Tap Canada. And don't forget to use the hashtag AskDoubleTap. You're tuned into our hour-long special live from CES 2020 in Las Vegas. I am Mark Aflalo in studio. Stephen Scott is on the ground in Las Vegas, and he's found the accessibility section of CES this year. Stephen?
So here we are at the accessibility area here at CES 2020, and I'm here with Joseph McDaniel from Vispero. Hi, Joseph.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now, lots of people will know Vispero for a number of different products, including JAWS and ZoomText, all of that. But we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
But first I want to talk about some of the hardware that you've got here on show. So what have we got?
Well, everyone knows our Ruby, which is one of our most popular models. It is actually the #1 selling unit in the world. We place more of these Rubies in the Veterans Administration, Voc Rehab, and a lot of people that have macular degeneration. And this product is awesome because it's very portable. You can magnify, change the color contrast. The Ruby family has 4 different sizes. It's a great product.
What size is that?
This one is the 5-inch.
This is the 5-inch,
yes.
Okay. But you have larger options as well.
We do, and this is one of our newer products. This is from our Optilec family. It's called the Compact 10, and it has the new way of magnifying with like a smartphone. You pinch it right there, or you can
pinch and zoom in.
Yeah, and you can also do the traditional magnification right there. The great thing about this is this has the OCR capability. If your eyes are fatigued, you can actually push a button, and it will read everything to you.
Now, just behind that, you've got another new product.
Oh, we do. This is awesome.
Now, even I can tell there's lots of flashing fancy lights on this. What does this do?
This is called the Omni Reader.
Okay.
And it's basically a magnifier, first of all. So I can magnify and quickly look at mail and see everything here. I can change color contrast. Some people prefer to see it in black and white, or white on or black on yellow. But if my eyes are too tired and fatigued, I can just push the button right there, and it's actually going to take a picture of the document and read it to me.
Amazing. Okay, well, let's talk about software now.
Sure.
Because JAWS is, of course, a major part of a lot of blind people's lives, as is ZoomText.
Yes.
But let's go over and find out about a new piece of hardware as well that you're working on developing software for.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let me take you on over there.
Okay, Joe, so here we are at what is the JAWS kiosk, and we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Right.
But before we do, I want to pin you on JAWS. Now, JAWS, of course, is a screen reader that a lot of blind people use, especially those in business and employment. It is a key part of a blind person's life, and enabling them to do their job independently. I use it and I love it. But you've got some really interesting updates in JAWS 2020, which of course is out for public beta, but is coming out this year.
So as you know, we update JAWS every year and put wonderful features that helps make life easier for JAWS users. And one of the new features in JAWS 2020 is the enhanced JAWS and invisible cursor support of Windows universal apps. So now when a JAWS user is going to the Windows Store to buy apps, it's a lot easier experience and a lot smoother for them. So those are just a few of the things that are going on with JAWS, but I really want to show you this new kiosk.
Yeah, so this is a large touchscreen, is it? Now, this is not your product, is it? This is you are building the software that goes into this product, is that right?
Exactly, and the important thing is the navigation device here. So a lot of JAWS users are used to carrying around their headphones to access an ATM or actually go to a restaurant and order food. But being visually impaired, you can't really use it as a touchscreen.
So I mean, just so people understand, so like certain fast food chains you might go to may have these kiosk ordering systems, which of course for a lot of people can be a challenge to use, but you're developing the software that can add in to that software that makes it accessible to all of us.
Exactly. They simply plug in their headphones, which most people using JAWS carry around with them to access other ATMs.
I've got about 5 pairs in my bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and this navigation tool here, so I can activate.
I can check that. This is actually, these are tactile keys, aren't they? So that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a very user-friendly navigation tool that allows us to put JAWS into a kiosk.
So it's actually attached to the side of what would be the kiosk.
Right.
It's actually attached on the side. It's got the headphone jack on it, and it's got those buttons as described.
And now JAWS can walk me through a great experience on ordering something in a restaurant, choosing more items, and actually paying for it.
That's amazing.
One obey. Press the middle key to activate.
Isn't that wonderful? You know, everything's going kiosk-based.
Yeah, it is.
So it's really vital that all the JAWS users out there can access those kiosks.
We've come outside of the booth here at OrCam to meet Leon Paul, who's with me here. Hi, Leon.
Hi.
So tell us what OrCam Read is. This is a new product from OrCam.
Yeah, this is a new product, and it's a very exciting extension of our technology from the My Eye and My Reader devices into additional populations. And what it is it's a handheld reader. Okay. And it's actually the only handheld reader that will read a full page of text or large amounts of text in one go. And what it is it's a camera at the front of this pen-like device, which I just hold in my hand, and I point towards a page or a piece of text and just click on a button and it'll read that text back to me. Okay, so if I'll just demonstrate that, I've got here in front of me a page, it's a brochure from one of the many booths around here, IQ Check, I don't know who they are, but I'm just going to point the device towards this page. There's a little laser with which I can select a certain part of the text, and then it'll start reading back that text to me. So if we just get that audio. So I hold that to the microphone, you can hear that? I'm holding it to the microphone for the moment. Let me give it to you, Stephen, you can hear it's reading.
Oh yeah.
So that's reading the text.
So it's reading the text from the page?
Yes.
Right, okay. So you said that there's a little laser that shows up on the page.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this is for someone who's got some level of vision.
That is correct. This is for people who they may have a slight visual impairment, but relatively light. So if they're able to see the laser and they are able to see the blocks of text on the page, then of course they'll be able to locate them and pinpoint that text for reading.
Very exciting technology, how you're using artificial intelligence to help all of us with a disability. Leon Paul, thank you so much for sharing the news about Orcam Read with us, another new product from Orcam.
Thank you
so
very much, Stephen.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Leon Paul. I mean, the technology is quite incredible, and it is great to see it showcased here at CES 2020, because what that does is it shows other people out here who are fully able-bodied how it's possible for a blind person to live independently using the latest technology. Quite incredible, isn't it?
Stephen, I don't even know if incredible is the word to use in this kind of situation, but we'll go with it because the tools that are available now, let alone the tools that are coming to help people live independently, are absolutely amazing. We are live from CES 2020. He is Stephen Scott on the floor at the Las Vegas Convention Center. I am Mark Aflalo in studio. If you want to get in touch, it's feedback@AMI.CA. Anything that you saw on this week's show that you want us to know about, let us know. And on Twitter, it's @DoubleTapCanada. Use the hashtag #AskDoubleTap and we'll get to those questions on a future show. We will take a quick break and come back and continue following Stephen Scott on the show floor at CES 2020. It's Double Tap TV.
For more great Double Tap TV content, visit AMI.CA/DoubleTap. This is Double Tap TV.
Welcome back to Double Tap TV, our special 1 hour from CES. I am Mark Aflalo in studio. Stephen Scott is on the show floor at CES 2020. Over 2.9 million square feet of exhibition space. It is spread over the entire city of Las Vegas. And Stephen Scott, as we sit here and we talk about accessibility, and we saw Vispera, we saw Orcam, he's managed to find himself the one place that I didn't expect him, which is in the TVs?
Well, I've wandered over to the Hisense stand to find out about some amazing new televisions coming to market. Now, hang on. You're thinking, Stephen, we're talking televisions here, blind people? But actually, only 4% of the world's blind actually can see nothing at all. That's a really important statistic to know. So there's lots of us out there who can see something and still want to be able to watch great television. But to do that, you need a great television. And I've got Matt Barber here from Hisense to talk about some of the latest developments in televisions. Now, we're standing in front of an amazingly large television. What is this? What is that?
So this is one of our Hisense laser televisions, and this is an ultra short throw projection television. So yes, it is using projection as the display technology, but instead of using LED bulbs, we're using laser light engines to create a 100-inch screen about 19 inches away from where the actual projector is.
So this is a projector television?
Yes, sir.
Wow, and how big is the projector in size?
You're probably looking at about 2 foot by a foot, I mean, it's a very small, compact piece of equipment, very lightweight, much less in weight than what an equivalent 100-inch LED 4K television would be. So in that regard, it's going to cost less, it's going to consume less energy, and it's going to be a little bit more mobile. So if you need it to go from one room to the next, very easy to travel from one place to the next, as opposed to the 300-pound LED televisions that would be in the equivalent size.
Blind people love sharp, clear televisions. It's really important that we have that clear image. So, to me, I'm afraid to say that's a big blur, but then that's because of the eye condition I've got. But for many people, that's going to make a big difference. How sharp are we talking here?
4K HDR like you would get in any typical LED television nowadays, and with the DLP technology that we're using from Texas Instruments chip in there, your motion is going to be a much better and clearer in a laser television than it's even going to be in an OLED or an LED television.
That's quite a statement to make.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, we all know that how wonderful these new TVs are.
Oh,
and you sell these TVs.
Yes,
you
sir.
sell LEDs. Do you sell OLED?
We do sell OLEDs.
You've got OLED as well.
Yeah.
But you've also now got this as well.
Yes, sir.
And how does that compare price-wise to LED and OLED? Because OLED we know is quite expensive.
They are, and this particular model that's going to be out in spring of this year, the L5 model, is going to be $6,000 with the screen. So it's not just the television, we're giving you the complete package to get the best experience possible. And the screen is actually an ambient light rejecting screen. So we're talking about clarity, and one of the worries of projection is ambient light degradation.
Can't watch it in daytime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These televisions, every one of our laser TVs that we have out now and are going to be coming out, come with that ambient light rejecting screen, which essentially takes the ambient light from sunroofs, from overhead lamps or whatever, and takes that light and distributes it away from the screen so that the screen only reflects the light that's coming from the throw of the projector.
That's absolutely amazing. Matt Barber from Hisense, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for that.
You're roaming around the CES show floor. This is our CES 2020 special. Stephen, where are you now?
Somebody's told me that there are very large, curved, amazing televisions around here somewhere. Any ideas?
If you look behind you, Stephen, I think that you might see a couple of those curved TVs.
Oh, is that what that big blur is?
Yes, that's
okay, now it all makes sense.
That's what
Thanks.
the big blur is.
Now, I am a huge fan of artificial intelligence. I'm a big fan of my Amazon Alexa, and I'm a huge fan of my Google Home, but to actually have that device turn into a real person would be quite a thing, wouldn't it? Well, that's exactly what's on show here at CES with the company Neon, and with me to tell us more about it is Leslie DeMonte. Lovely to have you on the show, Leslie.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So, tell us all about Neon and this lifelike artificial intelligence technology.
So what we are trying to create is a new kind of human species. So this is a computer-generated artificial human, which is why we are saying it's a new kind of species. Now what we do is, at this point in time, for the basic demo kind of purposes that what we are doing, is we have taken a human model, we have created these expressions, but these are all computer-generated expressions. So a lot of rendering has taken place over there. Now the important part is, this particular, all these images have been fed into artificial intelligence engine that we call Core R3. Now R3 stands for reality, for responsive and real time. These are not marketing buzzwords, these mean a lot. So reality means a photorealistic kind of image, which is what attracts the attention and says, okay, this looks like a real human. Then we have responsive. Responsive means that it can respond in real time and interact with human beings. And real time means that the lag is just about 20 milliseconds. So 20 milliseconds may not sound very impressive, but actually it is just real image time. So the time that it took you for you to smile and me to get back to smile is about 20 milliseconds. The third part is computational reality, which has been around for almost 3-4 decades out there. So that's the third layer, which many companies are working on. But our strength lies in getting the behavioral neural nets, the computational reality, and the third part, which I spoke about, generative intelligence, as 3 components of it, and that comprises, that makes the core R3 engine.
So here's my question. Who is going to use this? What is this going to be used for? Because I mean, we look at this right now, and in this prototype stage it looks amazing, but in what reality will this be used?
So if you look at any of these kind of images that are there, the other neons that are there, a neon could be a singer, a neon could be an artist, a neon could be a stylist, a neon could be a news AI anchor.
I want to ask you about people with disabilities. There are a lot of people out there who struggle to communicate, who will struggle to talk. Many autistic people, for example, who find it very difficult in social interactions. Do you think this can help with people who struggle with those social interactions with humans? They might be able to have this conversation or their kind of conversation better with AI.
So we have not, at this point in time, I'll be very honest, we have not thought about the business application, and we have not really worked out that. As I told you, we are a technology company. But having said that, we do know that there are multitudes of numerous applications. One of them being also that being a neon could be a companion for the elderly. So why not a companion for people with disabilities?
Fascinating. Leslie DeMonte, thank you so much for telling me all about neon. Really interesting.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait to hear more about it in the future.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I think we all know that my career is finished and it's been replaced by this lady.
I don't know if you really can be replaced by that lady, but she does look quite good. Maybe we can get her on an upcoming episode of Double Tap TV. Stephen Scott is live in Las Vegas. I am Mark Aflalo in studio. This is Double Tap TV. Thank you for tuning into our hour-long CES special. Lots of cool tech. We're not going to get to all of it on this show, but we will get to a lot. And if you want, check out and over to doubletap.online, and we will have some features that or extended features of things that you've seen on this week's show, but maybe some things that you haven't seen. Also, if you follow us on Twitter at DoubleTapCanada, you can find some really cool stuff from Stephen's expedition to Las Vegas. It is Double Tap TV. Again, he is Stephen Scott. I am Mark Aflalo. We take a quick break, and we continue with the cool tech from CES 2020 here on Double Tap TV.
Love Double Tap TV? Listen to AMI Audio for Double Tap Canada every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for news and reviews on everything tech. This is Double Tap TV.
Welcome back to Double Tap TV. I am Mark Aflalo with Stephen Scott. Stephen in Las Vegas. Welcome to our hour-long CES 2020 special. Lots of really cool tech, over 2.9 million square feet, as I keep alluding to, but you cannot imagine the size of this show. It is impossible for any one person, let alone someone who's blind, let alone someone who has two cameramen with them, to possibly see everything. But Stephen Scott, you've ran into some really cool stuff over there in Las Vegas, have you not?
So we're having a lot of fun here at CES, and of course we're poking fun at the winking car and all of that, but actually there's some really good concepts here that could really make a difference to people with disabilities. Now we have here smart scooters. There are 3 on display. One has a wheelchair attached, the other is your standard mobility scooter, and the other is one for someone who might want to stand, who's able to stand but maybe struggles a little bit with mobility, but just wants to get around. Or even, it might just be someone who wants to just get around a busy place like CES here, a big area to cover, and doesn't necessarily want to walk the whole distance. Well, these devices can help. Again, these are mainstream concepts, but they do have lots of applications, especially for us as visually impaired people. So you've got the mobility scooter, which has got autonomous capability. It's got auto braking capability as well. It's got obstacle avoidance built in as well. So think of all of those things for blind people or partially sighted people who might be able to use their vision to navigate, but still struggle with that final couple of yards. The vehicle would stop, you wouldn't have to worry about bumping into people, it would avoid things as well, and if you're completely blind, it will even take you to your destination. So that's pretty incredible. And if I continue around here, I'm going to show you another incredible device. This over here, and I call it a device because, quite frankly, it is a device. There was a time that a lot of us in the world of visual impairment talked about the idea of driverless buses, because that would be a great way for us blind people to get about. But with something like this is the e-palette, and it's from Toyota, again a concept, but these are actually in design around the world. There are many different concepts kicking around like this, but what this does is it gives you that bus concept essentially, and it puts it in a rather interesting way. So you can get maybe 4 or 5 or even 10 people into one of these. It'll take you around town, it might take you around an airport or a shopping centre or somewhere that's very large that needs a vehicle to take you from place to place. Some of these are already in concept in Heathrow Airport in London, England. So already we're starting to see this kind of design come out onto the roads and actually out into public areas. Well, within some public areas anyway. It is proof of concept at the moment. Hopefully we'll start to see more of these, but it does start to show how this kind of technology, this kind of driverless technology, is changing the way that we as blind people will be able to get about in our cities, and we've got to thank Toyota for the development on that. Okay, so I've wandered over to Hyundai. Now, Hyundai you might know for their washing machines or their cars, but you might not think of them as a taxi company. Well, they're trying to change all that, and of course the drive towards more smart cities and more connected cities, but with less cars, has donned this wonderful creation, which is a smart taxi, a drone taxi. Now, of course, if you've ever seen a drone or you've ever felt or experienced a drone around about you, you'll know they're generally quite small. This is not small at all. It's almost got the wingspan of an aeroplane. But what it has is the ability to get in there on your own and be taken to your destination. I mean, a simple concept really, but a really smart concept. And again, it enables more independence for us as blind and partially sighted people through some amazing designs like this from Hyundai. Okay, so how about this then? This is the Audi AMI. It's spelled A-I-M-E. It's another concept car, and the idea is this is what cars of the future will look like. We see this at CES all the time, but this is getting very close to what the cars of now are starting to look like. So although it's a design concept, it's very much something that we're starting to see on our city streets. And what's wonderful about this one is it still keeps the same form factor of every car we see on the road at the moment. You've still got the standard 4 seats in there. You've still got a driving position as well, so that's not been taken away. We're not at that stage yet, but we're getting there. But it is interesting to see these designs where, especially with the doors coming out at the front and then going out the back as well, the old London cab style doors, as I like to call them. Again, an incredible design, very stylish, very modern, and I know, Mark, you'll want one. The Audi AMI is coming soon. That's what Audi tell me, but no idea as to when. I'm assuming this is going to be on your wish list.
Yeah, coming soon. I'm not sure if that's soon enough for my wish list, but quite honestly, Stephen, I don't think there's one thing that you've spoken about or one company that you've been to yet that is not on my wish list. He is Stephen Scott, live from Las Vegas on our CES 2020 special of DoubleTap TV. I am Mark Aflalo in studio. Guys, get involved. It's feedback at AMI.CA. That's our email address. If you want to get involved on Twitter, you can check some really cool behind-the-scenes stuff of Stephen in Las Vegas. It is at DoubleTap Canada, and the hashtag is AskDoubleTap. We're going to take a quick break and come back with even more on this hour-long special from CES 2020 in Las Vegas.
For more great DoubleTap TV content, visit AMI.CA/DoubleTap. This is DoubleTap TV.
From CES 2020, welcome to this hour-long edition of DoubleTap TV. I am Mark Aflalo in studio. Stephen Scott is on the ground in Las Vegas. And before we get to Stephen, I want to remind you guys our email address, feedback@ami.ca. Lots of cool emails coming in about the things Stephen has talked about already and things they want us to talk about. So do get involved if you want to that way. Otherwise, on Twitter, it is at DoubleTap Canada, and you can use the hashtag AskDoubleTap. Stephen, I know you're seeing a lot of cool tech there on the show floor. I've seen this show kind of morph into various different elements, but I'm seeing an apron in the background there. What's going on there in CES?
Now you might be thinking, hang on a minute, has this turned into a cooking show here on DoubleTap TV? Well, for the moment, yes, it has. Smart, autonomous cooking, though. I'm not actually going to do any work, which is nothing unusual in my kitchen, that's for sure. But I am going to be talking about this amazing device, the Smart Autonomous Cooker from Cooking Pal. Anna Kamenko is here from the company. Hello to you, Anna.
Hello.
Lovely to meet you. So tell us about this. What is it?
So we're introducing Julia, our intelligent cooking system that is comprised of the main unit and the Smart Kitchen Hub.
Okay.
Now it comes with the set of accessories that will allow you to mix, chop, blend, knead, boil, steam.
I love
cook,
accessories.
all in one device.
Oh, amazing. That's amazing.
Now the way to control it is through the Smart Kitchen Hub.
Okay.
So you'll have, it comes with a collection of photo and video guided recipes.
And this is a tablet.
Exactly.
Which has got a little button at the bottom, a big knob at the bottom actually, a big button here.
Exactly. It's a 8.9 inch. It has an 8.9 inch display.
Okay.
Physical jog dial. So when hands are wet or greasy in the kitchen, you'll be able to navigate with the physical jog dial. Now, once you select the recipe, let's choose this one for example, you'll be able to see the list of ingredients, step in time. You'll be able to shop the missing ingredients online.
Wow.
And start cooking.
So, okay, well, we're going to make something, are we?
Yes.
Is that the idea? We're going to cook something here. So I need to get dressed
Right,
for this. And
right.
That's really important.
We've got a hat and the apron for you.
I've got my apron here.
Yeah.
So this is going to be good. Well, let's go for my
a little
glasses.
bit tight.
Oh, there we go. We've got there. Right, okay. And just tie it up at the back. Do it properly. There we go.
All right.
And I've got my hat here as well.
Yes.
I hope this fits. Okay, so there we go.
All right.
Do I look stunning?
You're beautiful.
You're a fantastic liar. Right, okay. So what are we doing here?
All right, so
Are
today...
you doing all the work? Is that, so I put all this on and actually you're doing all the work, right? Okay.
So we've got the bacon wrapped chicken today.
Okay.
We've got the chicken wrapped in bacon with some spices on top.
Yep.
And some carrots just to go with your chicken.
Yeah.
So we pour in 1 liter of water.
Okay.
Put the potatoes in. Now we put the carrots on top of the chicken. We close it. Now we're gonna go to the steam your dish. So it shows you what we've just did with you. And it's got all the presets for temperature, timer, and speed. So you just hit start or you say, Alexa, start the device.
And as if by magic, we're back and it's ready.
It is ready.
Oh, I'm hungry. Come on, Anna, I'm hungry here. I'm a big baby when it comes to cooking, so it's fine by me. So there we go, we have our meal. That is it. Our meal is ready. See, I'm an all-in-one kind of guy, so yeah, there we go. So let's try that. That's amazing. There you go, Mark. I've made you lunch. It's just a shame you can't be here to eat it. It's so nice as well from the Cooking Pal, an amazing autonomous cooker here at CES 2020.
I never thought I'd see the day that Stephen Scott was in the kitchen cooking, whether it be with an autonomous cooking robot or not. Stephen, with all that cooking and stuff like that, I'm sure you're going to find somewhere to maybe, I don't know, take a nap somewhere there on the show floor. Is there anything that we could potentially find to lay down for a little bit?
So smart technology really is moving into every single part of our lives, even into the bedroom. Here we have a smart bed, an app-controlled bed that helps you control climate, that helps you control movement in bed as well. I think I'm going to get in and try it out. Oh, it's nice and bouncy. I'm all for getting into bed during a work day. This suits me fine. It's very comfortable. So this bed is a Climate 360 bed from the company Sleep Number. And what it does is, it does exactly that. It changes the climate depending on your body temperature and also what you want your body temperature to be as you sleep. We've all had the problem before where you're lying in bed, especially when you get into bed at night and it's cold. Well, you don't want that, do you? You want your bed to be warm. But by the time you wake up in the morning, it's always boiling hot. Well, that changes with this bed because the temperature adjusts as the night goes on. So by night, when you go to bed, lovely and warm. By morning, nice and chilled. You can even change the temperature at different parts of your body as well. And what's brilliant is this is a double bed. On either side of the bed, you can have differing temperatures. So you and your partner can sleep in your own comfortable microclimate, as they say here. It's quite an incredible bed, and it's coming in mid-2020.
Mid-2020 is like right around the corner. I cannot wait. You know, I've always wanted to get into a Sleep Number bed. Every time I want to, you know, the price tag is obviously very high for a bed, but then they come out with new features like these different zones and different things that'll make it even better. And the fact that technology is making its way into the bedroom like that is kind of cool, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, who'd have thought that that kind of technology would come into the bedroom? But it's going to make a real difference to people, because I don't know about you, Mark, but I am forever having that problem of finding the cold spot on my bed. It's rather irritating, it really is. Although I often find it after my wife and I have an argument. There's often plenty of cold spots in the bed after that. Anyway, moving on. Look, we've got another segment to go here at DoubleTap TV, and I want to catch back up with Andy Barrere to tell us more about his thoughts on some of the latest tech trends of 2020, and also to pin him down on the ultimate question: what does he think is going to be the defining feature of CES 2020 this year?
We're going to come back and wrap up this hour-long special from CES. It's DoubleTap TV.
Love DoubleTap TV? Listen to AMI Audio for DoubleTap Canada every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for news and reviews on everything tech. DoubleTap TV.
Welcome back to our final wrap-up from here at CES. I am Mark Aflalo in studio, Stephen Scott in Las Vegas on the show floor, standing by with Andy Barrar. You know, guys, an hour goes by so quickly. It's amazing, and I feel like we've only scratched the surface of the tech that's available at CES, and we've got so much more footage to share with you, so do follow us online. Go to DoubleTap.online. If there's something specific you want us to check out, feedback at AMI.CA. On Twitter, we are at DoubleTap Canada. If you use the hashtag AskDoubleTap, we'll get to things throughout the next couple episodes. So, you know, guys, you know, you must be exhausted, but at the same time excited to still be there at CES, even as the show kind of wraps up.
You're absolutely right, Mark. I mean, we are just scraping the surface of what is available here at CES and on show. And you know, there's some amazing tech that's given us a lot of laughs. Personally, I think my cooking outfit was the best laugh so far. But I think that, you know, this is such a great event to showcase what is coming rather than what is actually here. And for that reason, I think we're quite excited. But there's so much. Andy is still with me here. Andy, I mean, you know, what an amazing event this has been. We talked about cooking.
Yes.
I was donned in my apron and my hat, and I was looking amazing, making some fantastic chicken and bacon earlier today with the Cooking Pal. But, you know, that again, just scraping the surface of what's out there for the world of kitchen tech.
Yeah.
Loads of it here.
You know, every year, Steve, when I come to CES, I'm like waiting to find a robot that can make me some eggs. And you know what? Finally, after all these years, Samsung and LG have started to introduce robots for the kitchen. But they're not like a typical humanoid robot. It's just basically two arms that go underneath your kitchen cabinets. And it can just start grabbing stuff and putting it all together. So it can make you a cup of coffee and then make you eggs. Could you imagine waking up every morning and then you have a nice cup of coffee and fresh eggs ready to go?
Oh,
this is the future that we need.
Basically what you're saying is we need more tech to make our lives easier in the sense of making us lazy.
Well, yes. Like that robot for the toilet paper, they need one for beer. So you can sit on the couch and the robot comes and gives you a nice cold one from the fridge. You know, that would be very amazing.
Did you see any other kitchen tech that you thought was interesting? I mean, a lot of autonomous cookers, as we were seeing.
Yes.
And also, I guess, a lot of the white goods that we see, appliances, more of those noticing as well.
You know, one thing I saw
tech.
over here is, you know, they took a shipping container and they started to grow vegetables in it, and they're using hydroponics, and they create the perfect environmental condition. They said we can go from seed, a lettuce seed, to actually eating it in 28 days. Wow. And because it's in a shipping container, you can grow it anywhere. So you can stack them. So like, think about the future of, like, you know, fresh food. It's not gonna be on farms, it's gonna be vertical farms. They're just gonna have these stackable and an empty area, and then you can have fresh food, from herbs to all your vegetables.
Now, look, anyone who listens to my show regularly will know, and has seen me here on DoubleTap TV, they will know that I like to talk about food a lot. I have been known to eat a few things in my time. I like eating, all right? Fine, I've said it. But the thing is that here at CES, it's kind of tech related in a lot of ways. They're using technology to make this, but the new, essentially plant-based versions of food.
I tried it.
Did you try the?
Yes, it's a company.
Is the Impossible Pork?
Yes, I was there.
Right,
okay,
I've got to know about this.
The company is called Impossible Foods.
Yeah.
So they're like a competitor to Beyond Meat. And so they released the Impossible Pork. And so I went to the event and they said, you can try it. I'm telling you, Steve, if I didn't know that wasn't pork, I would have swore it was pork. It had the texture, the taste. It was amazing.
Are they paying you to say that?
No, they're not paying me to say that. But they can, as long as they can pay me a pork. Impossible pork.
Yes. I could do that as well, actually. That's a good idea. Don't give AMI ideas, but I think that's a good one. It's been such an incredible event to be at here. What's been your highlight?
I think my highlight this year, Steve, has just been all the different types of robots. You know, they always kind of show and they're like, it's not ready, but like, for example, they have a waiter robot. So you could be in a restaurant and this robot comes, takes your order, tells you about the specials, and then it leaves and it comes back with your food. Like, you know, this is where we're getting to. So if they can do that in restaurants, of course they're gonna be able to do that in our homes. So we might have a robot digital assistant that's just kind of cleaning. They had a robot that can wash dishes and put them into the dishwashing machine. So we're getting there.
Well, the argument I always have at home with my wife is, who's going to empty the dishwasher? So if you, I mean, it doesn't matter the fact that the dishwasher's doing the dishes for us, but there's still the argument of who's going to fill it and who's going to empty it. So that would solve that problem.
Yeah, you got to take us completely out of the equation, right?
Exactly.
The robot makes us.
Food as well. I mean,
yeah, one robot makes food, one robot cleans it, and all we do is eat and get a robot to get our beer.
CES is always defined by something.
Yeah.
There's always one thing at the end of it, and there's a lot of topics this year. 5G, of course, is a big one. But what do you think will be the defining takeaway for you and do you think for people here at CES this year?
Well, Steve, CES is always known for televisions. You know, they always had the groundbreaking. Now they have 8K televisions, which has 4 times the resolution of 4K. And when 4K was around, they didn't have any 4K content. But I heard through the grapevine that YouTube is working on a codec to then stream 8K content. But for that to happen, we're going to need 5G because 5G is 10 times faster than 4G. So it's like all this different technology is going to work. But with 8K television, it's not going to be a TV. It's like your entire wall can be a television. It's very modular. I don't know if you saw Samsung's The Wall, but basically, you know, if you have a wall in your house, you don't put your TV there, the wall becomes your television.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And 5G, of course, is at the heart of all of this.
And 5G is going to be the backbone. They said
we didn't hear a lot about 5G.
Yes.
We heard a lot about how we essentially can use 5G. That was the takeaway for me.
Yes.
That all these companies were showing what we can do because of 5G.
Yes, and so everyone's trying to be like, because it's hard to imagine with those speeds what 5G could do. But what they're thinking about doing is, if you're a sports fan, say you've always wanted to go to the Super Bowl, but the tickets are crazy. What they're going to do is have virtual tickets, because with the 5G connection, you could put on a VR headset and then buy a virtual ticket, and then you look around, and it's like you're at the stadium. And because of that 5G, there's to be like 0 latency. Or if you're watching maybe a hockey game or a football game, and you want to see a replay right after, you can open up your phone and access any camera in the stadium to watch those replays with 0 latency. And that's the kind of stuff 5G is going to bring to us.
Andy Barrers, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. It's great to talk to a fellow nerd.
It's just wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts. And we hope to hear more from Andy soon here on Double Tap TV for sure, Mark. You know, he certainly knows his stuff, and a fellow Canadian as well, which is fantastic. So we're going to be hearing more from him. But certainly here at CES 2020 has been quite an incredible ride. We've seen so much amazing tech. So my idea now, Mark, is to get the robot to make my dinner and then jump into my autonomous car and head back to the airport. That's my intention.
If only you can get from your autonomous taxi into your autonomous plane that brings you back to Scotland, or that transporter that I talked about. Guys, thank you so much for being there on the floor in Vegas. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you. Thankfully you had some support, Stephen, and thankfully you got some really, really cool hands-on time with all that amazing tech. If you guys want to see anything else, head on over to AMI.CA, head on over to DoubleTap.online. We're going to have some really cool features, some extended versions of the things that you've seen now. If you thought some of those things were really cool, imagine seeing those even longer and getting more interactive. You'll be able to do that as well. If there's anything specific you guys want to let us know, don't worry, don't hesitate. Feedback at AMI.CA, it's our email address, and we will get to all those questions on future episodes, as well on Twitter at DoubleTapCanada, and of course with the hashtag AskDoubleTap. On behalf of Stephen Scott in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Convention Center, I am Mark Aflalo. Thank you guys so much for being here on this 1-hour edition of Double Tap TV. We'll see you again next week.
For more great Double Tap TV content, visit AMI.CA/DoubleTap.
Hosted by Mark Aflalo and Stephen Scott. Editing Will Attar. Production assistants Wendy Kaufman and Jane Donnelly. Integrated Describe Video Specialist Ron Rickford. Coordinating Producer Jennifer Johnson. Director Production Karen Nye. Director Programming Brian Perdue. VP Programming and Production John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2020 Accessible Media Inc.